Today I have Kewpie here. He's a 3-year-old neutered male. He came in on December the 10th. He was found a stray and he did have a wound of unknown origin. So basically when we get a cat, especially a stray in that has a wound, we do a 4-month quarantine, a rabies quarantine, and he pretty much did that fantastically. He didn't get out a lot, unfortunately. Basically, he is a cat that is very confident and extremely playful and very independent. And I think if somebody were to adopt him, I don't believe he would be really good for a first-time cat owner. Guaranteed. We would have to have like an experienced cat owner that knows cats that do get overstimulated. He likes to be pet, but I would not give him too much because he does get worked up fairly easily. Other than that, like I said, he's a very confident, very independent cat. He just needs a nice place to, call his own and on his terms for the most part. I think after a while, he probably would warm up to you and become your buddy, but I think it would take a little while, probably a couple of months or something. I would have to say probably the only cat in the house or the only animal in the house. Definitely cat-savvy teenagers that know how to read his body language and kind of know when he is getting a little overstimulated. He does like to be pet, but I think it's one of those things where he kind of misinterprets it and begins to think it's a toy, so we try to avoid overstimulating him in that sense. But like I said, he is 3 years old, so he's a teenager. So he's got a lot of energy, he really loves to play. He eats well, litter box trained, all that stuff. Like I said, he has all the shots. He is microchipped, and I think he's probably would really enjoy a good window seat with maybe a bird feeder outside that would help him burn off some of his energy. And I think that's a lot of it for cats like this. They need somebody to basically play and get them almost to the panting stage, and that will get rid of some of their energy and they'll probably be a little less fractious. Not that fractiousness is a negative thing, he just needs to burn it off. Some of the cats I've had that have had a little bit of extra energy, I always get them tired before I give them breakfast, and pretty much the same with dinner. They usually sleep pretty well. They're a little less destructive in the house. I'm not saying that he would be destructive, but if he doesn't get the energy out, he may look for things to entertain him. So we try to avoid that if we can. If he's in a house, he will have a tendency to get under your feet. I'm not sure if people understand what that is, but they kind of do the figure 8 between your feet. So you gotta watch out for your feet. He's doing it out of affection. And here, you gotta turn this way and do a trick. There you go. He's like a big black bear. Like I said, he was on a 4-month quarantine, and as a volunteer, we're not allowed to interact with any of the cats that are on a quarantine. But usually when they come off a 4-month quarantine, they usually get adopted out pretty quick, and I think you can't really expect much from him. You might be able to teach him tricks, but like I said, I don't think he's going to cuddle up next to you and take a nap or snuggle. He's basically just an independent cat, needs a place to live and call his own, basically on his terms. And I don't believe there's anything wrong with that at all. If you have expectations, it might not be the cat for you, but like I said, he is an awesome cat. I have a couple of cats that I don't expect anything from them, and they're very sweet, and they just live and have a great time. So I think he would be great in that sense. He is a bit spirited. I wouldn't say a spirited cat, but he is spirited. Like I said, just independent. We did another cat a while ago, Silver Satin, who was pretty much the same way, and he got adopted, and he's doing great in the house because, like I said, there's not much expectation for him. It's just, like I said, burning his energy off here, and now he wants to do camera shots. But he is really soft. I'll let you know that. I know you can't tell on the screen, but he is actually quite soft. Almost satin-like. If you are interested in Kewpie, I think Kewpie is an awesome cat. I don't need a cat to sleep on my lap. We do have cats like that. If you're looking for a cat to hang out on the couch with you or watch movies, we do have other cats, but like I said, he is a very independent cat, and he might actually be a pretty good mouser too. But like I said, experienced cat owners only, I believe, for him, at least in my personal opinion. I believe staff and the adoption counselors also concur with that assessment. If you want to come down, we're open Tuesday through Sunday, 12 to 4. We're here in Lowell at 951 Broadway Street. Feel free to come on down. You can check out the website too. There might be a little bit more of a creative description of him on there. I'm just giving you what I know about him. You could give us a call also and talk to an adoption counselor, 978-452-7781, and they can probably give you a little bit more personal information. But like I said, yeah, he's 3 years old, got all the shots, microchipped, neutered, and good to go. Like I said, eats well, litter box trained, no problems in that department. So yeah, come on down. Hey, we got the old butt shake.